Alright, let's do this. But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, cause I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand.
Do it.
I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady, tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
The time of the murder.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then, I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at the moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
These red lights. You said you don't remember seeing them, I thought.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but they just disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break right, even in the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya is telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
The final cross-examination. 3 red lights. Hold it! Lights shining in the dark. I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but press harder. But just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help? Is that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's why I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
All right then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood.
Remember, there's a dagger still in question here. That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at the moment. I heard a soft scream, and it seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So that's when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of the really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
She wasn't dead though, she was struck at the back behind the enemy. Struck back at the enemy behind her.
So struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of the breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should, ever have to in one life. So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
Hold it.
They went out.
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
Well, what could it mean?
If the red lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of the fight,
Maybe the mask was damaged.
or maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, right.
Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working.
Or maybe I'm hungry.
Bailiff, escort that man out of here.
What could have really happened then?
Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
Hold it.
What do you mean, just at that moment? Do you mean the movement when the red lights went out? The moment?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then? Was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
What? What?
Rubble, 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 rubble.
So then that scream came from the killer?
That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Why not? Probably.
So she stabbed Godot with that knife. That little knife.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. What's the contradiction? What is the contradiction between the stealing of blades?
Oh, just the fact that I don't know how we can make it a contradiction though. Just what I just said. The fact
What?
that they didn't they couldn't see the blade maybe to steal it back, so Godot probably had one. Or at least Dinim had one. Yeah, because she stabbed Godot with the smaller knife.
That's what we're postulating.
Yeah.
What has been presented by Maya there, and that we're all agreeing sounds about right, or at least the judges, is that one blade was involved, not two.
Yeah, so we're saying there's a contradiction with that statement.
Because there had to have been two blades? But what's contradictory to bring up the second blade? How does it not make sense that one blade could have been involved?
Because the blade was still stuck in her body.
Oh yeah, it never got taken out.
Yeah. Until she got back to
Wait,
Azakura Temple.
but that's, in this scenario, she stabs Godot, he steals the blade back and stabs her,
Oh.
so that's okay. That makes sense.
Oh no. We could say that sounds about right, and then kind of take a look at what evidence we have. I guess that could be it too. The fact that we have the knife and it has blood on it, but it's not Misty Face.
That's still not a contradiction at this stage. I know that's where we're going, but none of that contradicts this. We need to find, like, Phoenix needs to say there's a contradiction with that scenario. The whole stab, fight for knife, stab.
Yeah.
What contradicts? I can't save at this stage. Oh, what? Shit, I can.
This is a weird one.
It's because we haven't been forced to make a decision yet. Let's just say there's a contradiction, see where it goes. Oops. I think that's exactly what happened. Shit.
Of course, after all, my deductions are almost certainly correct. All right, let's go on with the testimony. The killer and the victim were fighting ferociously. What happened there?
Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and lost consciousness.
And what about the killer? What about the killer that stabbed Dahlia?
I'm sorry, I don't know. Really, it's true, Nick? I'm not lying. I know I always do, but I'm not this time. Wink.
I believe you. On this point, I'm sure Maya isn't lying.
It appears that the darkness has proven to be your undoing, Wright.
I've got to use this testimony to prove that Godak committed the murder. I really wish I didn't have to do it. What? Why not? But for some reason,
He likes the cut of his jib.
I get the feeling that some part of Godak actually wants me to. Well, I don't know why you don't want to, Phoenix. He's
Yeah,
been a
dude.
piece of shit this entire time.
Yeah, he doesn't even say our name right.
Yeah, of all things. Alright.
This one. Okay. I think it was a man's voice. What? Scream came from the killer.
Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain. After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Fuck it. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. I don't know how.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost always never correct. Certainly never correct.
He says it in both instances, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Remember, the testimony she gave before the killer let out a scream, Maya said that she had already been splattered by the victim's blood.
So she got stabbed.
There had already been a
twice?
splatter, so there had already been a stabbing before Godak got stabbed. So, in other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim, but you don't know whose blood actually splattered her. She couldn't have known it was the victim's blood or
Yeah.
not.
Ah! Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. In Phoenix Wright world, probably. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
Yes. Rubble, 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 rubble.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Wright.
There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as a weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
Stuck in the pine tree in the inner temple garden. Alright.
Take that!
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into the pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well!
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean he was wounded. Just
For all we
because
know.
he let
Whoa. You wanna hear that?
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean he just because.
Cool.
For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Have you forgotten? The blood has already been tested?
Go.
Since we learned it was the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
Show me your body.
Show us
Rabble,
your
rabble,
body,
rabble, rabble.
masked man. Then we'll know who you really are.
So you're saying that the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. The DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Gogat, I would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Wright.
Rabble, 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 rabble.
Order! Order in the court!
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. It's science!
I was just gonna say that.
Let me ask you something, Wright. Let's just say that it turned out I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What? Ugh.
Just think for a second.
It's easier to dance with one leg.
The dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already a blood stain on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes! What does that prove?
Well, if I were really the killer, I could have washed the blade off. I could have washed the blade off and planted another person's blood on it. Testing. Test.
It won't let me drag up and down anymore.
Oh no.
How does that even, like...
Why?
Just
This thing's got, like, weird functions that I don't understand.
Godai is breaking down.
Yeah, he is.
Very appropriate.
Wait. I don't see an option here to even do that.
Do the slider?
Yeah, like, it used to let me slide up and
Yeah.
down, and now it's not. Now I have to press each key individually.
That's jank, yo.
Just let me... He really is breaking down, though.
Yeah.
I'll close the app and see if I can reopen it. See what happens. It's not letting me do it anymore.
Fuck.
It's annoying as fuck. What else? I don't see any other things I could have hit.
What's that thing?
I just did that.
Test.
Shit. Alright. I'm just gonna have to do it like that. It can't be!
In any case, there's only one thing I can guarantee, Wright.
I have to fix this. We'll be back. Might be fixed.
In any case, there's only one thing I can guarantee. I can guarantee, Wright. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance.
Wow, confidence is gonna get you to this one.
Rabble.
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded.
Alright, prove it. Fucking show us your body.
Yeah, dude.
Let Gumshoe take you in the back. He'll investigate you all over.
Yeah.
I give the best massages.
Aw.
I'm not supposed to give one right now? Okay. In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness. Continue your...
Wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I know it's probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Mamaya!
This dagger, you said he wounded the killer,
That's right.
but, if Mr. Godot had been cut with a dagger, his clothes should be bloody and have a rip in them, right?
Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? That's not simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone thought that what was going on in the temple side got trapped there.
Oh yeah, he couldn't have changed.
That's right! And once the bridge was fixed, and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them.
He never had a chance to change his clothes. Ugh.
Rabble.
Order in the court! What does that mean?
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Why would anyone walk around with cream and fucking coffee? Did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess?
Fuck, there's smart pills? Oh.
Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the moida.
He just got naked.
Yeah. That way you wouldn't get blood on them.
That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Rabble.
So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here. If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here?
So come on, Trent. Can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even a single piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring you your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it.
Ooh.
That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Wright. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the ultimate unlimited penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? I refuse. Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Can you give me a break? You've got nothing, Trike.
Save.
I did just like not very long ago.
We'll do it again. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach it from a different angle.
Different angle.
Oh, all right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's only one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a bloodstain on his clothing.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hee then.
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle.
Different angle.
Different angle. I don't need to think about why there are no blood stains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. That's final stop, right? Let's hear what you've got. Where's the location where you said he hid his wound?
How do we show your visor? Do we just present Godot and then point to its face? I think just the profile and then...
You show his profile?
I don't know. That's the only thing.
Is it his profile, guys? Because what other fucking... Go ahead and tell us. I don't give a shit, because we think it's the profile. Is it his profile?
Godot's profile according to the walkthrough.
That's really dumb. Because his profile is not where.
I know.
Fine. His fucking profile.
I don't know what you're thinking about, talking about, and frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is you will never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trike?
He saw it too.
What was that just now?
We're hearing the inner monologue of another person in the story?
Yeah.
It can't be. You're living under him. You're living under him. I have to fuck Phoenix Wright. I need to fuck Phoenix Wright.
Alright, when we come back, we'll be back to wrap this up.